Money. That's probably what you think about when you hear the word generosity. But generosity that multiplies is much deeper than that. Jesus said, generosity multiplies. Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest the Jesus way. Today's Jesus Said comes from Luke 6:38, and we'll be reading today from the NET translation, where Jesus said, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be poured into your lap. For the measure you use will be the measure you receive." Now, if you've been in church for any length of time, you've probably heard this verse before. You've heard it quoted, "Give, and it will be given to you." And many times we think about this just about money, about taking an offering, for instance. But let's read some more of Luke 6 before and after Jesus said this and get some context. We're going to begin in verse 34, where Jesus said, "And if you lend to those from whom you hope to be repaid, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners so that they may be repaid in full. But love your enemies, do good, and lend, expecting nothing back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be sons of the Most High, because He is kind to ungrateful and evil people. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven." So that's the context that leads to verse 38. "Give, and it shall be given unto you." So is that all about money? You know, as I said, many times verse 38 is used when we take an offering or receive an offering. And when we talk about giving, when we talk about generosity, most of the time it is all about money. But Jesus is talking about more than that. In fact, He's really saying that it's all about the heart. In Matthew 5, Jesus makes a very similar point. Matthew 5:23 and 24, where He says, "So then if you bring your gift," and this was a financial gift, "if you bring your gift to the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to your brother, and then come and present your gift." So Jesus is saying, before you give, check your heart. And if you have something against someone, go deal with that first. Now, why is this principle important, and what does this have to do with generosity? Multiplying. Well, Jesus said, if you give, it will be given unto you the same measure. Okay? What that means to me is that it's the same principle as kind after kind at the beginning of creation. What you plant multiplies. And God can't fill a closed hand. You can't fill a container with a lid on it. And so if your heart is not open, generosity is all about heart, not amounts. And so it gets down to the heart of why we are being generous and what we are being generous with and what kind of seed are we planting. Paul said in Galatians 6:7, "Do not be deceived. God will not be made a fool, for a person will reap what he sows." Now, what is sowing? It's an action. And generosity is an action. And the first step of that is to give or to have a generous heart. But it's not just about your wallet. It's not just about your bank account or money. It's about giving grace, mercy, forgiveness, even our time, our commitment, our commitment to serve one another, our commitment to love. That's why we use the hashtag love first, so that we're always focused on the heart first. And whatever you sow multiplies. So if you're sowing grace, mercy, and forgiveness and spending your time on godly things, you will reap what you sow. If you spend your generosity on worry, on doubt, on confusion, on judgment, you reap what you sow. And Jesus makes it very clear in Luke 6:46, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and don't do what I tell you? So are you generous with grace, with mercy, with forgiveness, with love, with your time? Giving money won't change your heart, but a changed heart is generous in all things, even money. And whatever you are generous to multiplies. If you generously give to anger, resentment, and condemnation, that multiplies. Are you being generous in the way that Jesus said, with grace, mercy, forgiveness, and love? Well, generosity multiplies. That's what Jesus said. How can you put that into action today? Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it really does mean a lot when you like it, when you share it, when you comment. No matter when you're listening to this, it really does mean a lot if you do that. I really appreciate you. I hope that you have an amazing day, and I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest, the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.